and ain't nobody touching the president of Burkina Faso. Y'all got a better chance of trying to fit a camel through the eye of a needle than to think y'all about to touch him.
Just know that if anything happens to Ibrahim Traore, the international community will experience the largest African uprising it's ever experienced. Because y'all thought the Arab Spring was bad? Fuck that man. Because you think that after many of us have realized how much money the Western world has made off of the back of African bodies, off of our own natural resources without paying us appropriately and additionally treating us like shit.
As an African-American woman, I am so proud of President Traore and so happy for the people of Burkina Faso. I want to state for the record that African Americans have nothing to do with any assassination attempts, any destabilization of the country, or any criticism of President Traore. I don't know any American, and I don't know every American, but I don't know any American that even knows who General Michael Langley is. I actually just found out who he was 2 days ago. But when you see black people being put in a position like that, and then turn on their heels to criticize another leader in another country, that is by design. And they do not speak for us.
Guys, we need to keep Captain Ibrahim Traore in our prayers. We need to pray to God Almighty that the Lord covers this man because he is doing God's work in Africa.
They're using our own people to do it. Yes. Oh, I know you saying, oh, that's an African issue. That's not a us issue. Oh, hold on. Because I can prove to you that that is not accurate. This is a video that was taken directly from the meeting, the congressional meeting for AFRICOM. What is AFRICOM? The United States or the African version of CENTCOM, which is basically the Central Intelligence, in which they're using the highest ranking black officer in the Marines in the entire service. He's the highest ranking member, in which he just told Congress that Burkina Faso is now using the same gold reserves that they took back from France and all of Europe and decided to put back into their country. Him and America just told the entire Congress that Burkina Faso is now using those same gold reserves to protect Ibrahim Traore. And even if they was, who the fuck gives a damn? It's their money. Them not your resources. That land do not belong to America. And here we are sitting in 2025 in another situation where we saw what happened with Muammar Gaddafi. We saw what happened with Gaddafi, in which they raped that man. They sodomized him publicly. They turned the public against Gaddafi, told the whole public of Libya a bunch of lies. And all this man was trying to do was liberate Africa as a whole, not just Libya, but also sent billions of dollars over to America for the black African community over here. The black African American community, ex-Farrakhan.
So, hey, America. You want to know what waste, fraud, and abuse is? Waste, fraud, and abuse is when your government lies to you, its American citizens, as to why they're about to spend millions and millions of dollars for military to go into a country where they know good and darn well they don't belong. So Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, let's talk about it. In a nutshell, to keep this video short, in a nutshell, we saw the General Michael Langley sit in front of a panel in front of cameras and bold-faced lie and make it seem like President Ibrahim Traore is some horrible, evil dictator who's withholding and hoarding resources, gold, and whatever it is. It was so ridiculous, I can't even...
Hey my people, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that from wherever you my lovelies are watching this from, you're doing all right and God has protected you and preserved you very well. I do appreciate all of you that keep supporting. Thank you so very much for the super thanks and super chats. Shout out to the members for supporting exclusively as well. I do appreciate you my people. Yes, and as always, definitely we have another interesting episode. And this one, it is a black American women, 92%. Of course, maybe part of the 92%. They are coming on the internet to show their support for Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. And of course, if you are a black American man, I represented majority of you in one of the videos that I made in here. And a lot of you are in support of this young man and what he's doing for his country and for his people, right? But you know the contribution of black women towards liberation And I feel like this is a very strong voice to actually bring out here for my people to look at and listen to. They are saying, if they are using one of our own, trust us. We are not thinking like this. We know the truth and we don't side with this Michael Langley that wants to do something to Ibrahim Traore. We stand with Ibrahim Traore. Let's look at their voices. Of course, there are those black Brits as well that are involved in here. Watch this, come back and talk about it. Let me know what you think about this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and share it. Let us spread the awareness.
And ain't nobody touching the president of Burkina Faso. Y'all got a better chance of trying to fit a camel through the eye of a needle than to think y'all about to touch him. When I say that man is so divinely protected, cause he out here doing the work of the universe. The way I have been saying over and over again, if I can just find one African leader that's willing to stand up with a voice instead of walking around like a puppet. And in walks President Ibrahim onto the scene. The way he out here turning these Western countries every which way but loose. Oh, they big mad. And all these other African leaders that's out here being used like puppets. Oh, they big mad too. Burkina Faso, I'm coming. Cause I need to meet these resilient people out here standing up with a voice. It is time for Africa to rise. And Burkina Faso is out here standing strong with that voice. We black people have been controlled for how long? Resources of Africa have been getting robbed for how long? Yep, it's that time. Burkina Faso, I'm behind y'all. We changing this narrative one African country at a time. Let's talk about it.
Hello. I want to speak briefly about Burkina Faso and their president, Ibrahim Traore. As an African-American woman, I am so proud of President Traore and so happy for the people of Burkina Faso. I want to state for the record that African Americans have nothing to do with any assassination attempts, any destabilization of the country, or any criticism of President Traore. I don't know any American, and I don't know every American, but I don't know any American that even knows who General Michael Langley is. I actually just found out who he was 2 days ago. But when you see black people being put in a position like that, and then turn on their heels to criticize another leader in another country, that is by design. And they do not speak for us. They are ruining the reputation of African Americans globally, making people think that we feel this way. We have our own problems in America.
Just know that if anything happens to Ibrahim Traore, the international community will experience the largest African uprising it's ever experienced. Because y'all thought the Arab Spring was bad? Fuck with that man. Because you think that after many of us have realized how much money the Western world has made off of the back of African bodies, off of our own natural resources without paying us appropriately, and additionally treating us like shit, like we're the bottom barrel of people. Matter of fact, we weren't even people. You think that after we've realized that, we're gonna allow you to kill another one of our revolutionaries and just roll over and take it? Okay. You think that after many of us have realized that Europe has unleashed some of its worst sociopaths on our continent? Look up King Leopold of Belgium. Look up what he did to the Congo. Look up why there's so many amputees in the Congo. You think that after many of us have fully grasped and understood what you did to our continent, we're just gonna roll over and take it? And just a fun fact in case you didn't realize this, the majority of young people currently live in Africa. By 2050, the majority of people under the age of 35 will inhabit the sub-Saharan African continent. Okay? And rather than the international community creating allies with this new group that is coming about, this new generation that is very different from their parents, because not only do we know what the fuck is going on, we are not like our parents. We don't think that we're less than people in the West. We've been here. We understand how it works. We know what the fuck is going on. Rather than using this opportunity as your redemption arc, y'all are doubling down. Emmanuel Macron, this is the hill you're gonna die on. You fucking weirdo and your weirdo wife. Leader of a country that's stolen so much, being a thief, this is the hill y'all are gonna die on? And you think that the new generation of African young people that are coming up are just gonna roll over and take it? Okay. Go ahead. Because the way this man has garnered support from the, like, you don't feel it, you don't see it because you're not in the circle, you're not in it, so you don't see what I'm talking about. But try that man. Hurt a finger on that man and see what happens. Because all he's saying is, let us keep our shit. All he's saying is, let us keep our shit. Is that crazy? Because in the West, ownership seems to be a huge thing. Y'all are all about ownership and private ownership, and this is mine and this is yours. So let us keep our shit.
When Kanye West said that slavery is a choice and that you have a choice, I didn't hear him the first time. But now I'm hearing him loud and clear. Because quite literally, we have these three individuals that are doing the best of their ability. They are shifting the entire narrative of Africa and leading the pack. Leading the pack on the path of self-sufficiency, self-determination, all you can think of, just bringing the black dollar back home. And I don't hear nobody talking about this. It's barely any voices talking about what's going on between Burkina Faso and him, Ibrahim Traore, almost getting assassinated almost 20 times. They tried to assassinate this man 20 times. In fact, they are using our own people to do it. Yes. Oh, I know you're saying, oh, that's an African issue. That's not an us issue. Oh, hold on, because I can prove to you that that is not accurate. This is a video that was taken directly from the meeting, the congressional meeting for AFRICOM. What is AFRICOM? The United States or the African version of CENTCOM, which is basically the Central Intelligence, in which they're using the highest ranking black officer in the Marines in the entire service. He's the highest ranking member, in which he just told Congress that Burkina Faso is now using the same gold reserves that they took back from France and all of Europe and decided to put back into their country. Him in America just told the entire Congress that Burkina Faso is now using those same gold reserves to protect Ibrahim Traore. And even if they was, who the fuck gives a damn? It's their money. Them not your resources. That land do not belong to America. And here we are sitting in 2025 in another situation where we saw what happened with Muammar Gaddafi. We saw what happened with Gaddafi, in which they raped that man. They sodomized him publicly. They turned the public against Gaddafi, told the whole public of Libya a bunch of lies. And all this man was trying to do was liberate Africa as a whole, not just Libya, but also sent billions of dollars over to America for the black African community over here. The black African American community, ex-Farrakhan. The United States blocked him from sending $1 billion over here for us, which was the start of several payments Libya was trying to pour back into our community. And here we are, and they're trying to do the same shit to Mr. Traore and Niger and Mali. And I don't hear everybody talking about how they gonna get their hair done. Y'all talking about, oh, this man ain't no good. This person ain't that. Baddies, shot o'clock. The baddies are in Africa right now. And y'all paying attention to baddies more than y'all paying attention to what's really going the fuck on. They actually are. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Ghana. All of them are trying to find ways to invest back into the African American culture and actually try to help uplift us and pour money, black dollar, back into us. And y'all so focused on baddies. Meanwhile, America is using our own to try and take down Ibrahim Traore and the president, the current acting chief and head honcho in charge of Niger. They've tried numerous times, and they've had their eyes set on Mali for God knows how long. Y'all can't tell me that slavery ain't a choice, because this shit is happening right in front of our eyes, and for whatever reason, the exposure is not being put out there. But I'm going to keep talking about it, because I'll be damned if I be a slave to their bullshit. I'm rooting for Africa. I'm rooting for Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, as well as Ghana, Senegal, Chad, Goba. I'm rooting for all of them, because they're all rolling back the neocolonial shit that we have been speaking about for decades, since the transatlantic slave trade. And they're actually putting Africa back on the map and fast tracking Africa into their own industrial revolution. I mean, for God's sakes, they created their own fully functional electric car and immediately started unplugging all them toxic plugs from Europe through the meat, textiles, through electricity, energy sources, all that. And they put $5 million, this man included, on Ibrahim Traore's head. The people they tried to pay took the money to Ibrahim Traore and said, hey, folks, they trying to run down on your ass. Here go the money, on. And it didn't work. Them folks out there is ready to risk their lives for Ibrahim Traore. And we're just looking in the opposite direction, pretending like this shit not going on. As much as you think you can't help, you can help by simply liking and sharing and commenting under this video so that the word does indeed spread far and wide, so that America knows that we are watching them. We see what the fuck y'all doing, and y'all not gonna get away with this shit. And especially what y'all doing in the DRC as of right now. And with everything that's going on in the DRC, President Tashiki, whatever his name is, and what's going on between Rwanda and the DRC, and how America was able to wiggle their way into those mines, I'm not going for it. I'm going to keep talking about it because right now, these countries is going out of their way to make Africa black again, and I support it 1,000%. Now, I did make this hat, and it is on my Patreon and my YouTube if you ever want to find it. But yeah, I'm supporting them, and y'all gonna see me walking around and make Africa black again. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Walking around in my Make Africa Black Again gear. Y'all gonna hear me loud and clear.
We're all very clear on why they're going after Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso. It's because Ibrahim Traore is going to give Africans free education. And because Ibrahim Traore is doing the right thing by its citizens and making sure that people there have a home. Ibrahim is looking out for the people of Burkina Faso, not himself. He is becoming extremely popular amongst the youth across the African diaspora. So it is no surprise to me that they are now trying to take this man out, because your accusations are definitely not working. And even the president of South Africa has stated they reject your allegations against Captain Ibrahim Traore. The bottom line is the French and America are being pushed out of these people's resources, which is only fair. The audacity of the West to think that they should have some rights to anything this president has in his country is crazy. Because if anyone were to come to America and stake claim over our resources, we would lose our shit.
Guys, we need to keep Captain Ibrahim Traore in our prayers. We need to pray to God Almighty that the Lord covers this man, because he is doing God's work in Africa. There have been almost 20 assassination attempts on this man. They are coming for his life like nobody's business. They are trying to lie about this man, to say that he's a ruthless dictator who doesn't want democracy for his countries, XYZ, just as an excuse to go in, kill him, and, just really mess up the country and extract the resources. But you know why? That's not going to work. What you did to Gaddafi is not going to work in this day and age, because you know what? We've got social media and we can see what this man is doing to change his country. We could see with our eyes that he's doing it for the better. You may have been able to get away with lying about Gaddafi, all right? You may have been able to get away with that because social media wasn't that big back then. But now we can see it with our eyes. The change that he's doing for his country is astounding, and he's far from the wicked dictator that you are trying to paint him to be. Any weapon formed against him and his country shall not prosper. In just 3 years, he cleared Burkina Faso's national debt. He cleared it. He's building roads. He's building schools. He's made free education for all those in his country. He's taken charge of the gold mines in Burkina Faso, okay? He's taken responsibility for refining his own gold and not relying on Western powers who are just exploiting the country, taking all the gold, taking all the resources, and paying these poor people in Africa pennies for the resources. I'm from Ghana, and this man is so well respected in my country. And the way this man has transformed, absolutely transformed his country in such a short amount of time, has just shone a light on how pathetic these African leaders are. The other African leaders have been heads of state, like I said, for decades and not done one single thing. They've taken the money for themselves to send their children to private schools in Europe. They've just been pocketing the money, not caring about the people. Ibrahim Traore's work has shone a light on all the corruption in Africa. In 3 years, look at what the man has done. In 3 years, he's done more than even some European leaders have done in their own countries. 3 years. And it shows we can do it. We can do it. But our leaders just do not want to. The Saudi government actually offered this man, and bear in mind, this man is a Muslim man, Captain Ibrahim Traore. He's a Muslim man. The Saudi government offered to build 40 mosques or a certain amount of mosques nationwide in Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore said, "Thank you for your kindness, but we need the money to invest in our country. We could think about building the mosques later, but we don't need that right now. We need money to help develop the people." They kicked France out and their military bases. They've started making their own cars, producing their own tires. They've literally said, we have everything we need in Mother Africa. We do not depend on the rest of the world. Everything we need is under our feet. Why are we depending on foreign powers who their countries are not rich in natural resources? France is not known for their natural resources, yet they were exporting gold in large quantities, not from their own soil, but off the back of the miners in Burkina Faso, you know. So it's just this mindset of, we've got everything we need in Africa. We don't need France. France need us. And what I'm going to say is, if they kill President Ibrahim Traore, if they kill him, okay, which is what they're planning to do, all right? If they unalive him, nobody should complain. No one should complain about mass immigration into Europe from Africa, okay? Because this man is building an Africa where we are self-reliant. We don't need to go to Europe. Our parents, our, families, they don't feel like they need to go outside the country to have a better future. He is the beginning, the genesis of a self-sufficient and a self-reliant Africa. And of course, they want to stop this. So if they unalive this man, I don't want to hear anybody complaining about, oh, there's so many Africans in Europe, we need to limit mass immigration from these poor shithole countries. Shithole countries is what Trump called Africa, full of shithole countries, right? Like, this guy is setting the foundation for a self-reliant Africa where Africans rely on Africans. It's interdependence, not independence. But yeah, let's keep Ibrahim Traore in our prayers. Let's pray for his safety, pray for his good health and longevity, because he is laying the foundation of a strong and self-sufficient Africa. He is the voice of the African people, the young, intelligent Africans who are just full of life, all right? We are crying for change. It's just that our leaders don't want change. And Ibrahim Traore has shown us that if we get the right leaders, Africa is just unstoppable.
This is not my usual womb health video, but I feel that I need to lend my voice to the struggle. Captain Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. Yes, I said it, president. Okay, I don't care what anybody has to say, that he doesn't deserve the presidential title because he took it illegally by coup. Who cares? Do you know the corrupt, evil, wicked leaders that was in parliament when he took over? That was stealing from the people? If you see some of the poverty in Burkina Faso, you have to say, do these people have a heart? To be able to see such poverty, yes, yet be piling money, these politicians, into their bank accounts and going abroad to be educating their children abroad, going abroad for medical care and private jets and all of these, and you are seeing the poverty of the people. Doesn't this say, I can't even speak. You know what? The English is not Englishing. Hey, Lord, the English is not Englishing. My Ghanaianness is coming out of me because I'm that enraged. This guy has come in less than 3 years, 3 good years. He has cancelled, he's paid off the nation's debt. He has set up businesses, infrastructure, tomato manufacturers. He has produced his own gold. The farmers, he's given them seeds. He's nationalized farming. He's manufactured electric cars. You know, if I was to say all the things that he's done, we'll be here till Jesus comes, the amount of things this man has done. And he's only 36 years old, by the way. And you, Trump, you orange-faced Trump,
You want to come and arrest him. Arrest him for what? You're saying that, oh, he's a dictator. Excuse me. If you want dictator, I can deliver dictators to you. There's plenty of African leaders that are dictators. Why don't you arrest them? Why don't you arrest the president of Congo? Why don't you arrest him? Why don't you arrest some of these African leaders that are corrupt, that are plundering the country, that's allowing you to plunder the country, that's selling the resources for cheap? Why don't you arrest them? Why are you not fast to go and arrest these people? But this man who has revolutionized his country, who does that? On Mother's Day, he went to visit the widows, gave them hope, gave them money, to the point that the widows are protesting that they do not want him to step down. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I am calling all Africans, Caribbeans, African Americans, Australians, the Aborigines, Native Americans. I'm just calling all of you guys to get behind Ibrahim Traore. Don't let history speak ill of us. We missed it with Thomas Sankara. We sat back and we didn't do anything. We missed it with Patrice Lumumba. We sat back and we didn't do anything. We missed it with Gaddafi. We sat back and we didn't do anything. So many leaders, we sat back and we didn't do anything. Don't let history speak ill of us. Let our descendants be proud of us because we did something. Whatever you can do, even if it's small, do it. If you've got funds, fund the government. If you can go and visit there and give them your tourist money, go and visit the country. Don't mind Trump saying, oh, it's a dangerous country and you could get attacked. What about America then? Isn't your country dangerous? Come on, get out. Isn't your country dangerous? Visit the country. Yeah, if you can't visit the country, then at least forward posts, educate people, forward this one, forward other videos, put it on your WhatsApp, put it on your feeds. You know, spread the awareness, lend your voice to the struggle. Whatever you can do, it doesn't matter how small it is, do it. Look what happened when Ukraine went to war. People were changing their Facebook profiles to Ukrainian flags saying, oh, we are with you, Ukraine. Look what was happening in Palestine. Why can't we do it with Africans? We need to demonstrate. We need to put our foot down and say enough is enough. We're not going to take this rubbish anymore. Meanwhile, Ghana and Nigeria are fighting on Jollof wars, and this is going on. You have energy to fight Jollof wars. You've got energy for that. But you don't have energy to lend your voice to Ibrahim Traore, or you don't have energy to share and to post. My friend, no. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. We have to, Africans, we need to show these people. We need to show these people that you can't bully us anymore. The new generation is different. You can't do it anymore. Who's with me?
So, hey, America, you want to know what waste, fraud, and abuse is? Waste, fraud, and abuse is when your government lies to you, its American citizens, as to why they're about to spend millions and millions of dollars for military to go into a country where they know good and darn well they don't belong. So Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, let's talk about it. In a nutshell, to keep this video short, in a nutshell, we saw the General Michael Langley sit in front of a panel in front of cameras and bold-faced lie and make it seem like President Ibrahim Traore is some horrible, evil dictator who's withholding and hoarding resources, gold, and whatever it is. It was so ridiculous, I can't even, I'm gonna let that car go by. The false narrative that was spun is so ridiculous, I can't even remember all the lies to repeat it. But yeah, basically it was that Ibrahim Traore is supposedly this horrible dictator and his people need to be saved. Nothing could be further from the truth. The people of Burkina Faso do not need to be saved, and they love their president. What this is all about France. This is all about Macron. Macron is furious because Ibrahim Traore kicked France military basically out of France. I think he did that a couple of years ago. And Macron, France, basically no longer has access to the resources, the abundant resources of gold and minerals and things of that nature. France no longer has access to that. So Macron is furious. So what did he do? He went crying to Trump like a baby, and he's basically getting Trump to fight his battles. So that's it in a nutshell. But before I close out this video, you know, Ibrahim Traore, he's a young president. You know, he's very progressive, and he's doing many good things for the people of Burkina Faso. You know, he's built many plants. You know, he's created jobs. He's building infrastructure. As a matter of fact, he's providing things for his citizens that we don't even have. He's giving his citizens free education all the way up to college. Free healthcare and just all kinds of things. You know, he's really trying to create a good economy and build a wealth for his people. So America, all I would say to you is demand more from your government. Demand more. Demand truth from your government when they're telling you they're about to go invade these countries, like I said at the beginning of the video, where they don't belong. And also do your own research. We can't be lazy. You know, this is a new day. It's a new era. I don't even understand how there are some people who will just, especially online, they will just take whatever is told to them at face value. And that's really not the way it is. Not only do we have Google these days, we also have Chat GPT. So between Google and Chat GPT, there's just really no excuse for not really knowing the truth of the matter of what's going on geopolitically and things of that nature. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for your time. And yeah, to all you moms, I'm sure you wouldn't appreciate knowing that your sons and daughters are potentially putting their lives at risk over in Burkina Faso. Not so any people can be liberated. They're going over there for Africa's resources, for the resources of Burkina Faso. Do you really want your sons and daughters to die simply so France can have gold, so America can have access to minerals? I don't think that's what you want. Thank you for your time.
Ibrahim looked into that camera and said, "Shoot straight, bitch." And I love it. I've said this multiple times on my podcast, multiple times on this platform, but if you would truly like to see the wealth of Africa, you have to look at Europe and the Americas. Point blank, period. These countries aren't poor at all. Nowhere near it. They are the most wealthy in natural resources on the planet, most fertile lands. The people living within those borders are poor because of colonization, imperialism, and the fact that entire Western governments have built their entire existence and survival on being parasites to what their nation states are able to naturally provide. I talked about this in my podcast episode, Who Ruined Haiti, a lot, where I was discussing mercantilism. I always fuck up the pronunciation. Let me pull up a picture. This little graphic is literally how the entire planet is set up, right? At least the entire planet in the modern day that is centered around Western nations. They are propped up by the labor and the natural resources of former colonies, even till this day. As a lot of us learned, a lot of African nations won their independence in the 1960s, but this was purely mostly in name only because a lot of their colonial overlords were able to weasel their way into still continuing to siphon most of their natural resources, most of their money, and trap them in a constant state of debt to them, which wasn't really much different than colonialism. And this is the point. You know, you see this with Black people within empire in America. You see this in the Caribbean. You see this in Africa. You see this within the entire diaspora with their relationship to Western nations. There's this public declaration as things grow out of favor, like slavery or colonization and things like that. Brutal ways of dominating people grow out of favor publicly, and they start to see that it's costing more for them to continue to keep this up in terms of their reputation and other things than to actually give freedom to the people that they're exploiting. But what they end up doing is they make a public declaration, and then they find other means to get the same results that they were getting during colonization in a more subversive, more subtle way. This exact process is why 12 years after slavery was outlawed in the United States, slavery became legal again by way of debt peonage and convict leasing. This is the same process for which Haiti, a nation that won its freedom fair and square from several wealthy superpower nations at the time, is still in abject poverty due to punishments for winning and fighting for their freedom. You know what I'm saying? What I've been watching Ibrahim for a long time, his speeches, what he's been doing for his people, and it is something that is truly beautiful. He's doing something extremely brave. And what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of the first leaders in Africa, when they first won their independence, were communist, leftist people who were trying to nationalize their resources in order to enrich the nation state. And a lot of those people were unalived in very public ways by the CIA or by other governments, foreign governments, Western governments, because our entire existence in the belly of the beast is dependent on these nations staying subservient to us. He already knows what it is. He already has probably prepared for what is to come. It's not going to be pretty, but this is not the first time, nor will it be the last time that the stacks and the chips are against our people in any kind of way, and we still come out on top. I'm watching this. We should all be watching this. We should all be paying attention to this. But this is the issue when it comes to, being Black in America and understanding what it means to be in the belly of the beast and trying to make sense of it all. Yes, we are in an active genocide, but our proximity to empire allows us to live comfortable lives as compared to our global South diaspora counterparts. I bring this up all the time, but June Jordan made a wonderful essay in Essence magazine, I think in the 80s or the 70s, I'm not 100% sure, where she compared it to being a field slave and being a house slave. Y'all still are slaves, but there's different privileges and advantages to where you're placed. And it's starting to become time, especially as the imperialist boomerang is turning back around on us, as we're seeing, to stand up in solidarity with our diasporic global South counterparts in order to affect global change and right the wrongs of empire and Western hegemony. If this man goes missing, if this man is assassinated, I am not wishing that on him at all. I just want y'all to be prepared and understand that this is the exact MO of the United States empire. This is what we do, because empire cannot bear to exist or survive when all the countries we depend on to continue to exploit forever start to wisen up to what's going on and decide to organize and leave us out of it. And I think now's the time. I think a new global order is about to happen. Keep your eyes on this.
I want you guys to let me know what you think of this episode, the voices of our sisters, right? From me to you, my sisters, those of you that reach out to me and thank me when I make these episodes, it is all gratitude, because you guys have allowed yourself to be used as a catalyst to drive these voices and bring them close to your people. You see, some of this news are not even out there on your media. That's why a lot of Americans don't know nothing about this, except for only these clips that go rounds and rounds on TikTok. A lot of people don't know anything. And we all know the contribution of Black women as always towards, liberation and revolutions. We have seen them during the past election, the 92% ganged up together and they decided to vote right. And we see their voting right is actually being acknowledged by everybody. And we see those that decided to vote differently, how they are crying and they are complaining of what is not happening right when it was all their fault. Black women and Black men decided to vote right. That's why I'm saying thank you so very much for bringing these voices closer to your people, right? A lot of black women in comment sections were going as far as saying, we would rather put all our resources and money on one African leader that is doing right by the African people, because we know at the end of the day, this man is working for the good of his people. So, and you know how supportive black women are. If a black woman sees that you are on the right track, they will support you. We have seen support of black women around big, good presidents, right? We have seen also what the Namibian president is actually doing to her people in Namibia. She's doing right by them. So we know that definitely there is so much value that is attached to black women. Me seeing our sisters coming out and speaking up, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. And I would love to say, keep putting these voices out there. We are speaking, and we will take this opportunity to find your clips on TikTok and elevate. We'll put these voices also on these platforms on YouTube. Those of us that have a small, simple platform, we will put those voices on our platforms so that more other people see and they get motivated. Africa is heading in the right direction, and we need all the support that we can get from anybody, as especially black women, black men, those of you that are in the Caribbean. I appreciate your unity and support. I appreciate the support of the people in Caribbean, in Jamaica, in Barbados, in more other countries in the island. I appreciate the voices of people that are in UK. I appreciate the voices of people that are in Germany. I appreciate the voices of people in America, black people in America, and what you're doing and your contribution towards this, because we need it. We need it. This is at least the first time all the diaspora is coming together. America, UK, Caribbean, Brazil, everywhere. We are all together and we are believing in one thing. If you've been asking yourself, is this man really doing what they are saying he's doing? Is all this support worth it? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Believe it. This man is doing great and right by his people. That is why we all need to give him all the support that we can. But let me know what you think about these voices of our black sisters, the support they have towards, Ibrahim Traore, and what do you think about this revolution and liberation, this movement? And definitely this proves to us that definitely not all black Americans think like the West. There are black Americans and black Brits and Caribbeans that think and still love Africa, right? And they're not believing the Western propaganda, which is amazing. We have come from afar to where we are, and this is not time to give up, but it is time to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. We all will be free, and Africa definitely can be a land where you as a black person can come to and dwell freely without worrying about anything. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I think from me for today, that's it. I love all of you. Thank you so very much. Don't forget to share this video, like it, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, my name is Gracie and I love all of you. Until then, bye.